So question 6 says the diagram below shows the graphs of f of x is equal to minus x squared minus x plus 6 and g of x equals to mx plus c. A, which is a point minus 2 and 4, is a point of intersection of the graphs. So 6.1 says determine the x-intercept. So before we start answering any questions, we need to make sense. So f of x is the parabola, which is this line graph, and then point of intersection means that at this point also for point D. So when it says we want the x values at B and that's equal to 0. So that's what we're going to do here. 6.1, we're going to separate minus x plus 6 is equal to 0. And multiply throughout by negative, minus 6, 2 and 3, 1 positive. Then we have x are negative 6.1 wanted. 6.2 says write down the equation of the axis of symmetry of f. So this is x value. So you need correction to these questions. We're over 2a. Our minus b is negative 1. Negative 1, so that gives us the axis of symmetry is negative half. Then 6.3 says determine the range of f for 3 marks. The range of value at the shooting this value of x in our f of x. So f of minus half it minus negative half plus 6. So we can punch that into our calculator. Negative half squared minus negative half plus 6. This gives us 25 over 4. So f of minus half is equals to 25 over 4. It wants the range. Y is an element from negative infinity, which is our lowest point, to 25 over 4 included. In the next question, Six 6.4 says write down the equation of g in the form g of x equals to mx plus mx plus c. So we need to find the gradient and also need to find c. AD. Currently we have 1 point which is A. We need to find the coordinates of D. And what we know at D is that x is 0 because that is on the y-axis, and also that y, the value of y is the y-intercept. So looking at our equation, because x is 0 here, if we plug in 0 there, and the D is actually 0 and 6. So those are the 2 points we can use to calculate the gradient. So we have minus negative 2, which gives us 1. So our gradient is 1. Then we can pick 1 point. Let's pick point D and calculate what the value of C is. So y is 6. And then our gradient is 1, x at c is equal to 6 because all of this becomes 0, and then 0 goes to c, which means c is equal to 6. Then to put everything is equal to, our gradient is 1, so there's no need to put it there. So x plus 6 is our equation. Then 6.5. The average gradient between point A and D, which is equal to 1. That is why they are saying write down, not necessarily calculate, because you must take the value and just write it instead of recalculating it. So that is that for 6.5, which was a straightforward. And 6.6 says determine the equation of f about the x-axis, then translate it to 3 units rather to the right, and you must leave your answer in the form h of x is equals to a into x plus p all squared plus q. So that is our turning standard form. So the very first step that we need to do here is to change our current equation, which is f of x minus x squared minus x plus 6, into the turning point form. Then step 2 is that we can now then apply these transformations. So we need to do that by completing the square. So minus x squared minus x, take out the negative. So we have x squared plus x minus x. Then 2 all squared, we need to add and subtract this. So minus 1 and plus half minus 6. Then we simplify this. So all squared. And then we need to simplify what is minus half squared minus 6. Let's get our calculator. Minus into bracket half squared minus 6. That is minus 4. Okay, same equation in standard form. Then let's now go to the transformation. So the first transformation is that we x-axis. So h of x, this becomes equal to minus f of x plus half squared 4. This is the first transformation. I want to do them one by one so that you don't get confused with making multiple changes in the same step. So this will affect the first bracket x. Sorry, this is minus. This is minus over there, so this will become positive. To a positive, so that negative will become positive there. Then, why is this acting up? Half whole squared, that is positive, and then 4. Then we need to now translate 3 units to the right. When you translate 3 units to the right, we'll have x plus half plus 25 over 4. We then now need to simplify. Inside the bracket, this is now x minus 3 half minus 3. That gives us minus 5 over 4 after both transformations, right? Then the next thing, let's change color. 6.7 says for which f of x is greater than 0. So we need to go back to our graph and look for the values of x. So what if where the y is more than negative, because so at 6.1 we calculated the x-intercept, and this is minus 3 and that is positive 2. That is at B and at C. So our value between this minus, this is y. So y is positive. Below here and below there, y is negative because it's in this quadrant. So it means that our x is an element positive 2. That is where you will get f of x being greater than 0. Then at the last one, 6.8. 6.8 is equal to f of r is equal to 4 less than 0. So our equation, minus x squared minus x, to solve for x, so minus x squared minus is equal to 0. Minus x come 2 is equals to 0. Then we can multiply by a negative throughout this, x and x, 2 and 1, because our middle term is positive, becomes negative. So x is equal to minus 2 or positive 1. Now, they say r is less than 0. So this will be equal to -2 because that's less than 0. And our p minus r is equal to 1 minus plus 2, which is equals to 3. Okay, that brings us to the end of this question 6. Until next time, keep studying. Bye.